What's this? A letter for me.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Through the Mail Thursdays. Today I'm going to share with you 3 recent returns that I got back in the mail and profile each of the individuals that signed autographs for me. Today we're going to have a common theme though with the returns, and that theme is these are all major league managers. So all of them did play in their careers. Not necessarily were they impactful players as players, but they were more impactful as managers and coaches in their careers. So the first return is a return from former Yankees coach Stump Merrill on 1, 2, 3. And I did actually send a 4th one of the 90 tops traded, but he decided to keep it for himself, which is fine. Just happy to get 3 of the 4 back. So let me tell you about Stump Merrill and his career in baseball. Merrill was born in Brunswick, Maine, where he attended high school at Brunswick High School, where he was a star baseball, basketball, and football player. He later went on to be a catcher at the University of Maine for the Black Bears, where he also played football and earned his degree in physical education. He was selected by the Philadelphia Phillies in the 1966 free agent draft. He spent that season in the Class A New York Penn League with the Batavia Clippers, and the following year in the single-A teams in Bakersfield and Eugene. In 1968 and 1969, Merrill was at the Double-A level with the Reading Phillies and returned to Eugene in 1970 and 71 while the team was at the Triple-A level. His playing career unfortunately went to the end after the 1971 season due to a leg injury. Merrill's career as a manager actually started out with the West Haven Yankees of the Eastern League in 1978. He led the team to the best overall record in the league that season and to a first place finish in 1979. When the Yankees moved their affiliation to Nashville, Merrill moved as well, guiding the team to 2 more first place finishes in 1980 and 1981. In 1982 and 83, Merrill managed the Fort Lauderdale Yankees of the Florida State League, winning a league championship in 1982. For the 1984 season, he jumped back to the AAA level, managing the Columbus Clippers to another first-place finish. Merrill joined the Yankees staff in 1985 as a first base coach under Yogi Berra, but was returned to the Columbus Clippers mid-season again to serve as the team's manager after somebody resigned. He rejoined the Major League team in 1986 as a coach under Lou Piniella. During the 1988 season, Merrill was sent to the Albany Colony Yankees, then the team's Double-A affiliate of the Eastern League. He won the league title that season and did so yet again in 1989, guiding the Prince William Cannons to the Single-A affiliate Carolina League Championship. In 1990, Merrill began the season with the Columbus affiliate again before getting a call to take charge of the New York Yankees in June when Bucky Dent was fired as the manager. Merrill finished out what would be one of the worst seasons in Yankees history. The Yankees finished just 67 and 95, 49 and 64 under Stump, dead last in the American League and second worst in baseball. It was the only 4th time in the storied franchise history that they had the worst record in the league. However, Merrill didn't lose his job over this and was brought back for the 1991 season. The 1991 season was not great, and Merrill had a losing record of 71 wins and 91 losses, and he was replaced by Buck Showalter prior to the 1992 season. The Yankees didn't fire him outright, and they moved him back to the minor leagues where he became a minor league roving instructor. During the 93 and 94 season, Merrill would once again manage the Columbus Clippers before spending the 95 season as a special assignment scout. In 96, Merrill guided the Clippers for a 3rd time, so by now you'd think he'd have a house in Columbus with all the times that he managed there. Along the way, Merrill won his 1,000th game as a manager on August 2nd, 1996 in the minor leagues. He remained with the Clippers through the 1998 season. In 1999 and 2000, he was a special assistant to the general manager under Brian Cashman, who's still with the Yankees. He returned to the dugout in 2001 to Double A to manage again in Norwich for the Yankees. He would again do the move to Trenton, where they moved their affiliates, and manage in 2003 and 4. In 2005, he would then return back to New York, working for Brian Cashman, and he would hold that position all the way through 2014 until he finally retired from baseball. In total, Carl Stump Merrill, he got his nickname while he was in college at Maine because he was walking next to a pitcher that was really tall, and his coach started yelling, "Hey Stump, come on, hey Stump," and then the name stuck. So that's how he got his nickname Stump. But in total, Carl Stump Merrill spent 38 years in the New York Yankees organization. And even though he only coached from 1990 to 1991 as the dugout manager for the Yankees, he was probably most well known to be part of the Yankees' most feudal teams in 1990 and 1991. So Stump had a heck of a career developing players. I mean, just think about this. This guy was the manager for all of the greats when they were coming up through the Yankees system. Derek Jeter, Jorge Posada, Mariano Rivera, the list can Bernie Williams. I mean, the list can just go on and on and on. Tino was with Seattle, but all of the 90s Yankees guys that came up through their system, Stump Merrill was part of coaching them. So I think that's just amazing. So if you got a chance, definitely write Stump. He'll probably sign a few, but he might keep a few on you too. So we'll move on to the next one. Right, this next one, unfortunately got a little damaged, and I'm going to show you the team set bag. You can see the ink all over the bag right there. And Charlie Manuel is the return, and he tried his darndest to sign this card in it looks like a gold paint pen, and unfortunately it didn't dry enough, and you can see how it got really messed up there. So unfortunately this card probably ain't going to survive. So this one's definitely a damaged autograph card. But with that said, I did get 3 really good ones back. Got 2 of them as a coach in the minor leagues. Actually, a third one is him a coach in the minor leagues. I happen to have this set, and I had those singles. So let me tell you about Charlie Manuel and his amazing career in baseball. Manuel was born in West Virginia, where he became a 4-sport athlete while in high school, where he played baseball, football, basketball, and track. He was given scholarship offers to attend the University of Pennsylvania, but instead he was considering offers from various teams from the Yankees, and ultimately wound up signing with the Minnesota Twins out of high school in 1963. Charlie was a left-handed hitting left fielder, and at 19 years old appeared in 58 games for the Twins rookie ball affiliate. From 1963 all the way through 1969, Charlie would work his way up through the Twins minor league system and would finally get a call-up to the major leagues, making his major league debut on April 8, 1969. He would spend the bulk of the season on the Twins, being a left-handed hitter off the bench, also appearing in the outfield, posting a .207 batting average for the team that year. Well, the following year, he would split time in 1970 between the Twins' Major League affiliate and their AAA affiliate. And the same would be said about 1971, where he would appear in more games in AAA than he would in the Twins' Major League affiliate. In 1972, he would spend 63 games coming off the bench for the Twins and being again a left-handed bat, pinch hitter with some outfield experience. In 1973, however, he'd spend the entire 1973 season, 105 games in Twins AAA affiliate, where he would post 16 home runs, batting .274. The Los Angeles Dodgers must have liked what they saw because after the 73 season concluded, he was traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers. And for the Dodgers, he was assigned to their AAA affiliate. And in 129 games, Charlie hit 30 home runs and batted .329 for the Dodgers that year in AAA. Despite putting these humongous numbers up, the Dodgers only called him up for 4 games in 1974. Well, the next year, he would go back to AAA, and again, he would bat .325 while in AAA and hit 16 home runs. However, the Dodgers did give him a shot, and he only batted .133 in his time in 1975 with the Dodgers. So in total, in his major league totals, he batted just .198 in his major league time in 384 at-bats. Well, after the Dodgers let him go in 1975, Charlie would cross the Pacific Ocean and go play in the Japanese Professional Baseball League. He would have a humongous year in 1977 where he batted .316, second in the league, hit 42 home runs and had 97 runs batted in, helping the Central League's Yokohama Swallows reach second place for the first time in franchise history. The following year, in 1978, he would hit .312 with 39 home runs, powering the Swallows to their first pennant in Japanese Championship Baseball. He would change teams in 1979 and hit 25 home runs for that team. Unfortunately, while he was in Japan, he was injured and missed some time as he had a broken jaw due to a pitch. He wound up finishing the 1979 season with 37 home runs to win the home run title, and he was also named the most valuable player, which is the first American to receive the honor since 1964. A year later, Manuel returned to lead Kinitsu to the second half championship and the pennant. He finished the season batting .325 with 48 home runs and 129 RBIs. It was one of the best seasons for an American player in Japanese baseball up until that point. In 1981, he returned to the Swallows after being released by Kinitsu over a contract negotiation. Manuel finished his successful run in Japan with a .303 batting average, 189 home runs, and 491 RBIs driven in. He was considered one of the best imported baseball players to Japan in those days, along with the Lee brothers and Randy Bass. So after his injuries cut his career short in Japan, he returned to the United States to work as a scout for the Minnesota Twins before turning to coaching. As a minor league manager for 9 seasons in the Twins from 1983 to 87 and the Cleveland Indians from 1990 to 1993, Manuel compiled a 610 win and 588 loss, or a 50.9% winning percentage. He was named Manager of the Year 3 times in 1984, 1992, and 1993. Manuel returned to the majors in 1988 as the Indians hitting coach from 88 to 89, and then again a second stint from 94-99. Where under his tutelage, the Tribe led the American League in runs 3 times and set a franchise record in 1999 with 1,009 runs. From 2000 to 2002, he served as the Tribe's manager, leading the team to American League Central Division title in 2001. He was the 37th manager in Indians history. He was fired as the manager of the Cleveland Indians, now the Guardians, on July 12, 2002 over a contract dispute. His time in Cleveland, he had 220 wins and 190 losses. Shortly after he was fired by the Indians, the Philadelphia Phillies brought him on board as a special assistant to the general manager. After the 2004 season concluded, Manuel was hired as the club's 51st manager, replacing longtime Phillies great Larry Bowa in the dugout. In the 2005 season, the Phillies went 88-74, only 1 game back of the wild card. In 2006, the Phillies just finished just short of the playoffs once again, this time three games back. In 2007, the team got off to a slow start and there were probably questions of whether or not he was going to lose his job. And they battled through all the injuries, and despite that, they were able to upset the collapsing Mets, but were swept in the first round of the playoffs by the Colorado Rockies. The 2008 season started out much like 05 and 07. It was a very slow season for them. And everything seemed to click in place in 2008 for the Phillies under Charlie Manuel. Manuel would lead the Phillies to their first World Series appearance and World Series win since the 1980s. They would repeat going to the World Series in 09 and unfortunately would wind up losing in 09. In 2010, Manuel would lead them to their fourth consecutive NL East title. However, the postseason wasn't good to them, and they wound up finishing the year 97 and 65. In 2011, he again won the NL East title with them. In that season, he actually tied Gene Mauch for the most career victories. The Phillies would actually finish the year with 102 wins, and despite the 102 wins, will be defeated by the St. Louis Cardinals in the NLDS. The following year in 2012, Charlie just was able to do a 500 record at 81 and 81. In 2013, Charlie won his 1,000th game on August 12th. Unfortunately, this will be the last game that Charlie Manuel would manage to win. Before the end of the season in 2013, Manuel was replaced by third base coach Ryne Sandberg. Well, despite being let go, he did come back to the Phillies in 2019, where he basically finished out the 2019 season as the hitting coach for the Phillies. And after the 2019 season, he finished coaching. So I'm very happy to add Charlie Manuel to the collection. I had never gotten him before. Unfortunately, this one got a little messed up, but I was able to track down these minor league cards, and they look great. So we'll move on to the next one and final return. All right, so this one is probably the most common one. Not that Charlie's a bad name, but this one is postmarked from Minneapolis. And this is a return from former Minnesota Twins legendary coach Tom Kelly on one. And I also included the all-time card, but unfortunately, like John Castino, he signed the back. So this is actually signed by Tom Kelly, but just ideally not on the place that I wanted him to sign it. So technically it's signed, so we'll just go with that. But maybe it's because they misspelled his name on the front. They added an extra E to his last name there. So let me tell you about Tom Kelly and his career in baseball. Tom Kelly was actually born in Minnesota, but he grew up in New Jersey, where he attended high school in New Jersey. A first baseman and outfielder, Kelly threw and batted left-handed and was listed at 5'11". He was drafted by the Seattle Pilots in the 8th round of the 1968 Major League Draft. After 3 seasons with the Pilots and Brewers organization, he was given his unconditional release on April 6, 1971. Later in April, he would sign a minor league free agent deal with the Twins, where they sent him to the Double-A Charlotte Hornets of the Southern League. From 1972 through 75, Kelly would spend most of his playing time with the Triple-A Tacoma Twins of the Pacific Coast League, splitting time between first base and the outfield. After starting the 1975 season, again in Tacoma, Kelly was called up to the parent Twins and made his Major League debut on May 11, 1975. Kelly would play in 49 games with the Twins over the 1975 season, getting into 43 games at first base and 2 in the outfield. In 147 plate appearances, he collected 15 walks, 23 hits, 5 doubles, and 1 home run. His career batting average was .181 with 11 RBIs. Prior to the start of the 76 season, Kelly was purchased by the Orioles and assigned to their AAA affiliate. He would not return to the major leagues as an active player. In 1977, he returned to the Twins organization in Tacoma, spending part of the year as a player manager. In 1978, Kelly appeared in 118 games for the Twins AAA affiliate, and it was his last year as a full-time player. Following the 78 season, Kelly was sent down to manage the Class A affiliate, the Visalia Oaks of the California League. Hey, the same place where Crash Davis started, right? As a coach. He spent the 81 and 82 season as the Orlando Twins manager, winning the Southern League Championship in 81. In 83, he was appointed the third base coach under Billy Gardner's staff with the Twins. He retained that post when Ray Miller became the manager, and then, after Ray Miller was let go on September 12, 1986, Tom Kelly became the 11th manager in Twins history since their move from Washington. Tom Kelly would spend the next 15 years as the manager of the Minnesota Twins. He would lead them to 2 World Series championships, one in 1987 and also one in 1991, where in both years they were considered the underdog in those World Series. Especially in 1991, the previous year in 1990, they had a horrible, miserable record. And, you know, if it weren't for that 91 season, Tom Kelly may not have been there after the 91 season, but he won the World Series. So that obviously kept his job in place for quite a while, and he was actually the American League Manager of the Year in 1991 after that World Series championship. Kelly would hang on to manage through 2001 with the Twins, and he would win 1,140 games at the helm for the Twins, but he would also have 1,244 losses. After the 2001 season, he would be succeeded by Ron Gardenhire. However, Kelly would remain with the organization, working as a special advisor to the general manager. I am not sure if he's still working for the Twins. It would not surprise me if he is not. He is probably still working in player development in some capacity with the Twins. I actually saw him one time. This was probably in the early 2000s, I want to say. I did see him in a minor league game one time, and I happened to have a card on me, and he signed it for me. So that's all. I want to thank Mr. Kelly for signing. I also want to thank Mr. Manuel for taking care of me as well. One could argue that maybe, perhaps, you know, with both of these guys with over 1,000 wins each, they could be considered Hall of Famers, especially since the fact they both have World Series titles under their belt. I also want to thank Mr. Stump Merrill for signing his cards as well. That one's upside down. I look forward to you leaving comments on my channel. I want to thank you for your time, and as always, happy collecting.